Are you tired of wasting precious time trying to manage the chaos of being a substitute teacher? These quick hacks that I have for you will save you your sanity and your time so that you can run a class as a substitute teacher like a pro. Okay, so the first one is use a timer. You can display a visual up on the projector and go to YouTube and type in, say they have a 30-minute assignment. Type in like 30-minute timer and it can come on. It could play music if you want it to. It could just be silent. Just make sure volume is not all the way up so that the alarm is like extremely loud. That's happened to me before and scared the bejesus out of all of us. But you could do that. You can do it for yourself if you want to, especially if you're in elementary school and you're like, if I have a timer up here, then like I know like, okay, so 8:26 to 9:42 is ELA. And so you have like that time up on the board with a timer so that you know, okay, now this is the time to transition to math or whatever it is. Write the agenda on the board. This one is a really nice one. Or you can project this one as well, especially if you're good at technology. You have a computer you can hook up to the Promethean board or the smart board, whatever you have, and it's perfect because when the kids come in the room, they see what they're doing right away. Nowadays, on their own laptops, they have like Blackboard and stuff, and they can exactly see what they're doing for the day there. But if it's just like they see your name, like I would always do Mrs. Watts, whatever day it was, A day or B day. That was just like their way of knowing if they had physical education or music. And then I would have what they were doing for the day. So, because I always greeted the kids at the door. So I would be like, hey, hi, and they would come in and see that. And they'd already be like, they'd be looking, like if I was a student, they'd be like, okay. And grabbing things out of their backpack while reading the board and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. So then when I was going to give the expectations, they already knew what they were doing. I would say it just in case there's some kids that just sit there not knowing there's something on the board. We all have those students, but it's nice to have it there. It's almost like a little clutch to take the attention off of you and onto the students and to get them to work. Pre-label the papers for the teachers. This one you don't have to do. I always did it, especially if I was handing out a worksheet and they were giving them back to me, or I've had it too where students handed in their like field trip forms or their picture forms, whatever it is. And each period I had like a ton of paper. So what I would do is clip them together, paper clip them together. And then I would take a sticky note and I would write period 1, a day, whatever. Period 2, a day, whatever. And then that way that when the teacher came back and put them in order, she knew exactly who turned them in. Of course, you can use student helpers. I think this would be better if this is already implemented in the class with the teacher. Like, for example, a paper passer, someone who might collect the papers, something along those lines. And maybe there's someone who does attendance. If it's already implemented, I think that's a really good one. I think it would be very hard to implement this one yourself, but it's an option. Especially if you're a long-term sub, this is something that like would be very helpful for you. Keep the fast finishers tasks at hand. So basically what I mean is if you have students who finish like 20 minutes early and you're like, oh my God, maybe you have a coloring sheet or a crossword puzzle or something for them to do. That way it's like they're in their seats and they're engaged. This is a silly one. Have a go-to quiet symbol. So I think when I was in elementary school, it was this or this. That's like surfing something. I think it was this, and we would do something along those lines. I don't remember. You can make it up. You can just do this or this, whatever you say during your expectations. Just have something to get them to quiet down, and then they'd be like, oh, okay, it's time to stop talking. then you can implement whatever it is that you were trying to say, their directions, the next steps, whatever it is. Set up the materials in advance. This one I think is important. And sometimes I would set up my own little station on the teacher's desk, whatever, if there were a bunch of papers, and I would get there early, 15-20 minutes, and I would review the lesson plan, find everything, and then I'd say, okay, I'm going to put these here because I know this one's first, and then stack the other paper this way, type of thing, to be like, this one's second, just to organize the room for myself, if that makes sense. Keep a mini sub kit. This one I think is a good plan of extra activities in case something goes wrong, like time finishers who are like, scribble, I'm done. You're like, oh, shh. Anything along those lines. Coloring sheets, crossword puzzles, extra papers, like extra worksheets, along those lines. You can also have like games, like educational games, or like you could do something like 20 questions. That would be more like towards the end, where you can say something like, you can ask a question and something like, what's your favorite thing to do over winter break? What's the weirdest thing you like to eat? I don't know, I'm just making it up, but, and then everyone says whatever they want to say. Mummy ball, I think it's called. Just different games that you can do with them. That's fun too. Something that keeps them engaged in their seats or just not shouting and being bad. It's really all you want. I hope that these time-saving hacks helped you to get what you need to get done during the day so that you can have a really good substitute teaching day. And I will see you in this video.